Gorillaz. Before I continue the video, I want to just address that this isn't a video about how Gorillaz was made or explaining the history and what it's about. Because there are much better videos that are much better at explaining stuff better than me, than I ever could. For this is what makes Gorillaz unlike anything in the music industry. Through some thinking that I did about Gorillaz, I was able to narrow it down to a word I like to call Gorillaz idea. What does this mean? When you really come down to it, Gorillaz is pretty much a parody. A parody of the entire musical industry, with a band made of 4 characters made to cater to every type of person. And it knows that. Don't believe that industries do this? Look up Overwatch 2 diversity chart. Most Gorillaz fans already know about that, but you need to understand it to understand the second part. The first style and sound of Gorillaz was a mix of multiple genres: reggae, hip-hop, pop, and rock. So when combined, they'd make a sound that was like no other, because it didn't exist. You'd think that will be where it ends, but no, Gorillaz' idea goes much further than that. This is where I start sounding conspiracy theorist-like. You might have noticed that Gorillaz hasn't done any rock since 2005. They haven't done any reggae since 2010, and they haven't done any hip-hop since 2017. You could compare this to Zombie's Simpsons, but that would mean that Gorillaz isn't good anymore. But like other bands, when old trends die, new ones come. They change. A good example of this is the movie Phantom of the Paradise. In the movie, there's a band called the Juicy Fruits. Later on, there's another band called the Beach Bums. And then later on, there's another band called the Undead. But in reality, all the bands are the same. They're just doing different types of music. Not only is this a silly way on showing how bands are very marketable and mass-produced, but it's also a way of showing that things change, and things go out, and things come in. That's why if you listen to older Gorillaz, it sounds completely different to the newer Gorillaz. So in conclusion, there isn't really a conclusion. All this video really shows is how much Gorillaz is able to change and make fun of the musical industry. If you're a Gorillaz fan, you definitely know about the phases that Gorillaz has. Basically meaning each studio album corresponds to a specific phase of Gorillaz. But in the grand scheme of things, the entire 2000s was only the phase 1. The 2010s was only phase 2. The current decade that we've gotten 3 years into is being phase 3. By the way, if you completely watched the video fully, thank you. I hope you learned something about Gorillaz or had another thought about Gorillaz and how their current music is different. To be honest, I had a very weird feeling about Gorillaz and their sudden music change, but after thinking for a while, I realized that this is actually just fine. It's alright. And honestly, I've also gotten a new appreciation for Self-Titled, their first album, because I felt that some of these songs were kind of fillers, but now that I understand more about Gorillaz, I pretty much like all the songs equally. Bye.